Qualifying just wrapped up in Mexico City, and I have got analysis from both practice sessions and this rain-shortened qualifying next on Racin-n-Braisin. Well, hi folks, welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ. I am a chef with over 20 years experience and a lifelong NASCAR fan. And on this channel, I am sure to give you plenty of news and analysis from the race weekend, as well as tips and tricks from my kitchen to yours. So thank you for joining me here on another episode. Well guys, things just wrapped up in Mexico City here on Saturday afternoon. Qualifying was shortened by about 17 minutes. SVG got his first pole of the season, clocking in a lap at 1:32.774. That was the fastest lap I have seen all weekend, and I've been keeping an eye on the specific times. Ryan Preece put on a screamer. He was chasing the rabbit. His rabbit was Chris Buescher and managed to get himself a second place. It was nice to see AJ Allmendinger get a good qualifying session in. He was not happy with his vehicle in practice. And Michael McDowell, someone that I am definitely keeping an eye on this weekend, grabs a fifth. He's carrying a ton of confidence this weekend. Other notables here that are not listed on the top 10, Kyle Busch is in 11th. Chase Elliott is in 12th. Chris Buescher will be starting in 16th. Austin Cindric back in 20th. Tyler Reddick 22nd. And way back in 31st will be Christopher Bell. Very surprising that they did not get a good session in. Granted, they only got one lap on track. Ryan Blaney also only got one lap on track in that rain-shortened session. Now, let's jump back in time to Friday. There were two practice sessions. The first one started off with the phrase of the day, I don't know, we're unsure, and we'll find out. We found out quick, that's for sure. Cars were looking uncomfortable under braking. Guys really driving hard trying to find their limits that we saw Noah Gragson get into the wall, trying to avoid getting into the back of, I think it was William Byron. And shortly after that, we saw Carson Hocevar back his 77 machine into turn 11 and put a little bit of damage on the rear bumper of his car. Noah Gragson actually had to go to a backup car. The damage that they had didn't look all that severe, but I guess it was enough that they had to go to a backup. They'll be starting in the rear tomorrow. As far as first practice session go, Michael McDowell had the fastest individual speed, but what I think was more interesting was the 5-lap average, and we'll put that right here. SVG topped that 5-lap average. McDowell was second in that, and you can see the rest here. That first practice session was a 50-minute practice session. Saw a lot of different changes throughout the session. The drivers were definitely pushing the limit. As that session ended, Prime did a great job of having a session in between where they were able to interview a bunch of drivers. They got SVG, Briscoe, McDowell, Stenhouse, Austin Cindric, and all of them were talking about brake issues. Very concerned about the travel of the brake pedal as the runs went on. They also did talk about a little bit about the engine performance and how there's more lag at the higher altitude. Prime did a good job of talking with drivers and getting the perspectives of what they're feeling in the first session. Then we jump on over to practice 2. Everything on track was much tidier, that's for sure. A lot less problems in turn 4 and turn 11, where we were seeing them in the first practice session miss those turns. We didn't see much of that at all. And in fact, across the board, the speeds improved by roughly a half of a second. We'll take a look here real quick at the 5-lap averages. You can see there, Ty Gibbs, he's been quick in practices. He was topping the list there in the 5-lap average. Ross Chastain, I guys want to keep an eye on him. Fast in the 5-lap here, fast in the 10-lap, as we'll see here in a second. Also notable here, Chris Buescher looking really good on 5-lap. And then let's jump over to the 10-lap here real quick. C. Bell tops the list, which is surprising. And then once again, keep an eye on Ross Chastain there in second. He's going to be starting third, and he's running second in average laps 5 and 10. I think practice 2 was when everybody was honed in on those longer runs. Not everybody got 10 laps in, so disregard the second half of this list. We'll just focus on the top 5 in there. The 5-lap average, I think, was pretty telling on that. So let's talk about takeaways for tomorrow's race. Trackhouse is looking fast. They qualified really well. Their lap averages are looking really good. Penske is finding speed. They've kind of had I would call it an up and down. Sometimes on track they're looking good, sometimes they're not. In the qualifying in particular, they weren't looking all that great, though Joey Logano does have a pretty good starting position for tomorrow. I definitely will not sleep on McDowell. Don't sleep on Dinger, Chris Buescher, or even Kyle Busch. And don't forget that Hendrick Motorsports are the kings of road courses, so don't sleep on them. Remember, Kyle Larson's got a top 10 start, and Chase Elliott is right there in 12th starting position. So those are my takeaways for the weekend. A lot to sleep on tonight and think about before making a pick tomorrow morning. We'll get that video out for you tomorrow. We'll give the picks and talk about what we're thinking about as the race approaches and give one final look at weather before things kick off tomorrow. Thanks again for joining me here on Racin'-n-Braisin, guys. Stay happy.